Before we go back to your phone calls, and we're coming there in just a moment, so stay right there. WhoWhatWhy.com, a website that I visit often. You should too. It's a real good investigative site. Karen Charman has a piece up at Who What Why. It's picked up now by Common Dreams, and I'm sure other places around the web. We are posting a link at MikeMalloy.com to, not to Karen's article, but to what she is talking about. And Michael and Roswell alerted us to this. Before I share with you a little bit of what she wrote, I can remember, and Kathy, I'm sure you remember this also, several years ago, I don't know, a decade, or maybe less, slightly less, we talked about depleted uranium turning up in products used in American households, metal chairs, pots and pans, knives, forks. You remember that? Metal lampstands, whatever. And I can remember talking about it, and then the topic just disappeared. Well, how would you like radioactive metal from nuclear weapons facilities to be recycled for use in consumer goods like silverware, pots and pans, eyeglasses, zippers, kids' braces, and even pacemakers and artificial hip joints? Karen writes. Here we are again, Here we are again. If the U.S. Department of Energy gets its way, that is exactly what we can expect in our future. Now, there is a public comment period on this where you can actually access the Department of Energy website comment section and tell them what you think of the idea. However, the comment period ends Monday. And this was just posted at Who What Why today. So you only have until Monday, February 11th. And we have a link to that at MikeMalloy.com. It's either up now or it will be up momentarily. Now, the Department of Energy, and Karen, as Karen puts it, the steward of the sprawling and massively contaminated American nuclear weapons complex. Oh, boy. The Department of Energy wants to lift a ban on recycling imposed in the year 2000. That action came in response to an earlier proposal to sell radioactive metal from Department of Energy facilities to scrap metal recyclers. Once the contaminated metal is mixed into the scrap supply, it could be turned into virtually anything made with metal. Now, the problem, if you aren't quite getting this, the problem is products contaminated with radiation give off alpha particles or beta particles or gamma rays depending on the radioactive element present. Though these three kinds of radiation have different properties, all are ionizing, meaning that each is energetic enough to break chemical bonds in the cells in our bodies. And that kind of damage, of course, can result in, here's a surprise, cancer and other illnesses. Now, the current plan of the Department of Energy is to release 13,790 metric tons of metal that the Department of Energy says is uncontaminated or just contaminated on the surface. Oh, God. This material would likely include things like metal desks, pipes, and perhaps construction equipment from radiation-contaminated areas. A nuclear expert and former senior policy advisor to the Secretary of Energy during the Clinton administration, his name is Robert Alvarez. He told WhoWhatWhy.com about this. Alvarez was a key player in stopping the Department of Energy's earlier attempt to release low-level nuclear waste into the public sphere. And he described this new plan as a, quote, toe in the water, end quote, toward overturning the ban altogether And, of course, if the toe goes in the water, then the rest of the body does, and in the future it could lead to the release of a large part of the department's vast stockpile of nuclear waste materials. Alvarez says DOE's been pushing this scheme for 30 to 35 years. They just want to give up on it. And, of course, when Karen Charman at Who What Why made the request, Department of Energy did not respond when she had some questions for them. The article goes on and on. It's at Common Dreams, or is it Truth Out? Where was that article? Hold on just a second. It's at Common Dreams, and it was just posted today. So if you go to commondreams.org, you'll find it. Radioactive eyeglasses, silverware zippers, hip joints, anyone? That's the title. Now, what we have at our site is the link to the Department of Energy comments section, where you can tell them how you feel about using these products. This is not depleted uranium. This is stuff that was used in facilities that produce materials or energy that is radioactive. So, you know, it's a crapshoot, right? You may wind up having braces put on your kid that either is or is not, or has not been exposed to radiation, and may or may not be able to get inside your kid's mouth and your kid's body and break the chain of living tissue. Oh, Jesus, why go on? See, that's one of the things about the capitalist system. There's always a market. There's always a market for everything. You know, there's a market for, I know, I'm going to say nuclear waste, and somebody's going to send me an email and say, well, it's not really nuclear waste. I understand that. But I'm going to say it anyway. You know, there's a market for anything when you live within a capitalist system. Anything. Now, sometimes you have to disguise it just a tad, or lie about its point of origin, or not be truthful about what it may or may not contain. But, good God. Oh, well. Just thought I'd pass that on to you. Thank you, Michael. Go to MikeMalloy.com. You'll find the link I'm talking about.